Happy Magic Monday, Collective Consciousness. This is Nicole Marie, your astrologer and coach. And this is the weekly moon forecast for the week. Now, I have very exciting news. I have spent all weekend designing a very special moon scopes for each zodiac sign. So, as you know, in this fabulous weekly podcast, you get to learn more about the collective moon phases. But now I've written a very special zodiac horoscope. So basically, when you read for your rising sign, you'll follow more of the moon energies through your rising. So it gives a more accurate way of how you can work with the moon energy. I'm very excited about this. Again, it's kind of working a lot with just teaching you a little bit more about what each moon really represents, what house it's hitting. So if it's hitting your second house or your 11th house, where your energy should be focused within those few days. I give assignments on how to use this energy, kind of like a daily and weekly ritual. So go onto my website and under Ritual Magic blog, you'll check out moon scopes for the weekly affair. And I'm also giving a specially designed full moon Leo eclipse ritual for each sign. Of course, there's always so much more going on than just what's happening in your rising sign. So obviously, if you want to know more how this full moon is going to affect you, you know where to reach me. But first, let's dive into this Practical Magic podcast, teaching you about the ancient tools and how to work them in your modern magical life. So we begin this Magic Monday from moving out of this Aries moon weekend where we're very focused on our passions. Either spent it with friends or spent it alone and enjoyed it. Now this moon is turning into Taurus until Wednesday, and this will be a good time to dive into your resources, get back to work. Taurus likes to work and get the task done. And by midweek, you'll have Gemini moon from Wednesday to Friday. This is a good time for communication, sharing ideas, research, and communication is very heavy. And also like marketing, exploring, the demographic and global markets. It's really expansive. Then by Friday, we'll have Cancer moon. And Cancer moon for the weekend is perfect. We want to be home. Maybe we want to redo things around the house, and just spend time with our friends and family and loved ones. So then obviously the Sunday we have a very powerful full moon in Leo eclipse. There will be anger in the sky, something boiling within you that needs to be released. So spend time processing that anger within yourself, with your guides, with nature, with a therapist, or go out for a dance and dance like a wild person that you are, and just get tribal with it, because these things are just needing to be released. Full moon eclipses really highlight a lot of stuck energy, and the stuck energy is going to be a clue of where you need to access more of your creative energy. So if you're feeling tired, overwhelmed, exhausted, are you spending enough time creating, or are you just doing and not spending enough time being? This is really your moon time to focus on which cycle and phase that you are in. So the overall tarot reading for the week is actually, first I want to talk about the goddess. So the goddess that will help guide us this week is Kuan Yin. And, we've got her a lot. And I realize that I have this huge deck of goddess cards, and I feel like I often pull the same ones over and over again. And again, remember, I'm pulling for the collective consciousness. So a lot of times this is goddesses that we're very familiar with, goddesses that really represent the strong theme that we're all going through. Last week was Maeve, which I really loved. I haven't seen her in quite some time. But again, Kuan Yin, she's very well known. And what she really represents is compassion. And she says, release judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. So this is really what this full moon in Leo is about. Full moons highlight all those dark places within us, and that those dark places often look like our shadow aspects, what we judge and blame others for. We blame others for our pain, other people for our place in life, other people for our circumstances and resources, and really, honestly, it's up to us. And that's what really Leo is showing us, is that we have to be brave enough to live our creative truth, that we need the courage, the strength, the vulnerability, the humility to get there. So to have compassion for yourself during this process and have compassion for others during their process. Often, even though we are in a place of power, if we approach others that are very disempowered, that are going through a really intense process, and we project all of our beliefs, all of, we know you should do this because that will be better for your better life that you want to live. We don't know. We are not that person. We need to let them make their own decisions, find their own strength. If you're constantly telling someone else what to do, you're devaluing them and taking away their power, because they need to decide those things for themselves. Obviously besides, a 3 or 4-year-old, even though they do have their own opinions and own minds, they do still need your support. But when I'm talking about our mature adult relationships, I also want to remind you that even when you're in adult relationships, you're still talking to that innocent child, that stubborn teenager part of your partner, of your friends, that we all are this age because of where we've been. So just be compassionate for all those parts, because people will be showing their wounds. They'll be showing their vulnerability this week. And you just really have to flip the switch, flip the mirror. Are you being compassionate towards someone that's grieving for their father? Are you being compassionate towards someone that just can't get a break, instead of telling them that you're not doing enough, you're not good enough, and just reaffirming what they already believe? Is that supportive? Is that loving? Ask yourself those questions and see what kind of answers you can come up with. So, the tarot reading this week, the overall energy is 10 of Swords. So there's kind of this card shows these people basically throwing away their swords and leaping into the ocean off of a cliff. This is symbolic, dramatic, and definitely a time for a new story. So what this card is really showing, that you're kind of sacrificing a lot of these old beliefs, a lot of these old habits in order to leap, in order to make a new life. And so it's kind of a great ending and a great new beginning. So obviously once they all fall into the ocean, there's a whole new world to explore. Ocean is going to be our intuition, our creativity, our emotions. And Swords is the mental plane. So really looking again at beliefs, at judgments, at opinions. Where is it that you need to kind of stop going down that rabbit hole of disbelief, of constantly trying to prove this belief that you're not lovable? Is that something that you really want to keep proving? Or do you want to keep kind of letting go and healing that, younger aspect of you, and start welcoming the real life that you want? Someone that is loved, supported, and guided on their journey. Because the conflict that we have is the Magician. So the Magician is as what he is. He is our magic. So, God, we have been confused about the word magic for far too long. Obviously, back in the day, medieval times, when this was a lot more prevalent, when, magic and spells and casting were being used to manipulate others. And this is where dark magic came in, where people started to use these kind of powers to have power over things, when real magic is just allowing the energy and life force to flow through you and to have a relationship with it. But never were you ever more powerful than the actual creator itself. So the magician wants you to know that you are a part of magic. And what that means is that you channel with the guides, you channel with the cosmic consciousness, and you bring those gifts, those insights down to the world. You bring it to work. And so you have a hand both up in your mental world and down in the real world. And real world, you know what I mean, the physical 3D dimension. And this is a time to look at where you kind of disconnected. Do you have a disbelief that you're magical? Do you feel that, you maybe have had past lives of where you've had vows of poverty, or that you've done something bad with magic and now you feel that it's awful or manipulating, or there's some part of our ancestors that still live inside of us? What tribe did you belong to? Did you belong to the magical tribe that misused? Did you belong to the witches tribe that got burned? Which part of your magical tribe are you trying to heal in this lifetime? I'll share a little bit about my own journey through this. I've done a lot of, obviously, past life regression therapy, and a biggest memory that I had is that I was this dark witch, that I had a lifetime where I had kind of moved my way up to power through manipulating others, and eventually all that power got rained back down on me, meaning that we're all part of an ecosystem, and what happened is that I caused a major disruption in my own ecosystem, and every single person that I loved got taken away, and I wandered through the forest alone until I was found and killed. And so this is a strong story to take with you. This is something where, there's all sorts of different ways that you can approach magic. And, magic, it's not good or bad. It's what you do with it. And that's really what I keep always focusing on, is that no harm may come to others. Do no harm to others, and no harm will be done to you. And so it's just really like learning to be of equal partnership in the great ecosystem of life. So if there's some sort of old belief that's been buried there, it's time to release it, to forgive yourself, to forgive others, to do some ho'oponopono, or, any sort of forgiveness practice by this full moon will be a great time for healing that magical part of yourself that will really finally allow you to just give yourself permission to be magical, which is really just opening up your perspective to the imaginational realm. So I could talk about magic for hours, days, lifetimes even, but let's move on. The outcome to this and solution to the week is reverse 7 of Swords. Again, it's all very mental right now. We are, we are preparing for Aquarius season. We're currently in Capricorn, which we've been dealing with power struggles and money and all sorts of things. And now we're going to Aquarius energy, which is all about our intellect, our cosmic consciousness. And so reverse 7 of Swords is just kind of getting outside of that box, getting out of that old mind frame, those old patterns and programs in which you governed your life. It's time to open up and see a new perspective. So often that's why I say do past life regression, or, going back to the original wound, healing that wound, and then that kind of creates a new pattern in the energy body. And with that new pattern creates a new lens in which you can perceive through, which is magic. Magic is simply changing your perspective of a situation. So, speaking of magic, the unicorn card that will remind us and guide us this week is expansion. She says, spread your wings and soar, share your message and shine your light, show the world what you're made of. And this is really what this full moon in Leo is asking us. What are you made of? What obstacles have you overcome? What in you do you need to forgive in order to truly shine your light? So many of us feel guilty for, not spending enough time with our loved ones, or devoting too much time to the wrong thing or wrong someone. And now is our time to just forgive ourselves and to say thank you for all those experiences, to surrender what you still don't know yet, and to make space for radical new beginnings. Full moon eclipse, it's gonna make space this week, people. It's gonna probably remove things out of your life. It may make you feel out of control. This anger may rise. Move with it through a creative expression. If you have anger, do not generate it on somebody else. Do not try and cause more dramatic flares in your life. Go and express it. Paint it out. Dance it out. Walk it out. Move it through your body. Breathwork therapy is a profound way of doing this as well, along with sound therapy, one of my favorites, and ritual. So truly spend time in sacred space this weekend and creating ritual around releasing limiting beliefs and stepping into new stories. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm really excited about what this year is going to bring. I have a lot of new things programmed, but as you know, this is the visionary process time. So, definitely by spring and after Imbolic, you'll be hearing a lot more from me. So until then, you can still check out my website at inner-doorways.com or email me at innerdoorways@gmail.com. Until then, be brave, dear hearts, for we are in a time of great change. And until then, blessed, blessed, blessed be.